So are we having fun yet? I hope you're having fun. I'm having fun. Let's keep going. So in today's fun tutorial, I'm going to show you how to work in what is called the third loop. This is an extra loop created when working the half double crochet stitch, and I use it a lot for a lot of different things. And the reason is because unlike the front loop only or the back loop only, the third loop with the half double crochet gives a nice, very clean, very pretty looking edge. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Again, crochet hook, yarn, stitch markers, all the things. And for this specific way of working into your stitches, you will be using, again, the half double crochet. So I am working with the same little panel that we've been working on, and I'm going to start with a row of half double crochet. And again, I have 15 stitches across to make this however long or short that you want. So I'm just going to do a quick row just to get up so it's nice and clean and you can see exactly what I am talking about. So like I said, the third loop is created from working half double crochet. It is actually an extra little loop that is made when working the half double crochet stitch, and I'm going to show it to you when I make it to the end of the row. I'm fast, but I'm not that fast. I wish I was faster. Okay. So we have now made it to the end of my row. Let's insert that stitch marker back in there. Okay, so you can see here, I have a nice brand new clean row of half double crochet stitches. Now, on the back side of your work, you can see, so you've got your V's at the very top, but when working half double crochet, you get this extra little loop here. And this is what is called the third loop, or at least that's how I refer to it. But most I know that is what it is referred to as being the third loop. So when it comes to working into the third loop, depending on if you were working in the round, the third loop will be on the inside of your work. But when you are working back and forth in rows like this, it usually ends up on the front of your work. So when I chain and turn, you can see that third loop now shows up on the front of my work. And just like with the front loop only and the back loop only, I just work my very first stitch as I normally would, going through both of the loops, just to keep a nice clean solid edge. Insert my stitch marker back there. There we go. So now my first stitch is done. So from here, when working in the third loop, what you want to do is basically you pay zero attention to the V that you normally work into at the top. So working a half double crochet, you are going to, it seems a little low, so you're gonna come down here and you're gonna scoop up that extra loop, that third loop, and then you're gonna work your stitch as you normally would. So that third loop is right here. So you got your V on top and the third loop. And everything lines up with the regular stitch placement. So as you can see here, like this is the V for my next stitch, and the third loop is right there. So I'm gonna work into that third loop again. And like I said, I'm still sticking with the half double crochet, so you can practice this and you can go back and forth in rows, and I will show you what that does. So as you go back and forth and turn your rows, again, when working in rows, this third loop is always going to be on the side facing you. So it's always going to be facing up. Very easy to see, very easy to find. It's a bit more difficult when working in the round. And when we get to that point, I will, of course, be showing you how to do it at that point too. So I'm now getting towards the end of my row. And again, just to keep it nice and clean and even, I will be working my last stitch into that V as normal. As you can see, by doing that, it keeps this edge nice, straight, and even. Now, what is the point of the third loop? Well, when you turn your work over, this stitch right here, or this ridge right here, is what you create by working in that third loop. And I use this a lot personally for detailing, for making sure something, like I want something to stand out. When you get into the more complicated things, it's actually really nice if you want to crochet something on after the fact. I use it for animals and such, but because you have this nice ridge here and you can clearly see that braided V, you can actually, if necessary, crochet onto a finished piece with that ridge there. So you can totally surface crochet later on in a project from using a third loop. It gives you a nice clean row to work on and everything like that. It's great. I use it more for detailing and as breaks between patterns, or not between patterns, but between stitches when I'm designing. If I'm designing a wearable, if I'm using one stitch, I'll probably, before switching on to the next, I'll make this nice clean looking ridge and then switch. It kind of helps the two separate stitches stand out more in their own way and instead of blend as much. Oh, words are hard. But anyways, that is how you do that is how you work into what is the third loop. And again, if I were to continue on by chaining and turning, that ridge is now on the front side. So I'm going to work my first stitch as normal. Oops. And then from here, again, you can see that third loop is still on top facing you. So this is technically the front third loop, or it would be listed as a front third loop when working a pattern. So I'm gonna do a couple of stitches just to show you. So what you could do is you could do this like every other, because if you do crochet in the third loop for every row, you can see the ridge is on the front here from the first row we did, but now it's gonna be on the back. So you can alternate, you know, you can do it every row so you get this nice ridged effect. This nice ridge effect. Ridge effect. Apparently I can't say that word. Across your work as you go, or you could work every other. So you can work a row with the third loop and then do a basic row working in the stitch as you normally would, and then you can do another row in the third loop so your ridges end up on the same side of your work. Honestly, crochet is all about playing around, learning, having fun. So go ahead, practice working in the third loop, practice everything from before, and I will catch you in the next video. And we're probably going to take a little break. I need to explain some other things to you. So go ahead, practice, enjoy, have fun, mess up, undo it, start again. All the fun things. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in the comments, in the description, of course. There's always links to everything that I'm using. And if you're having fun and you want to continue to learn, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you're not missing anything new. With that, I'm gonna go. I need more coffee, and I will catch you later. Bye!